up and get a pretty big hitter. Good job by Eagle there, bridging his way up there. He gets caught on the edge of the mat back there. Nice little 2-on-1 tilt. Now he works back for a half. Oh, a lateral drop right.
Fox 56 Sports presents the rivalry of the week on MyTV WQMY.
So just beats the horn before the first period ends. 2 seconds on the clock, so a minute 58.
Scranton High School, the setting for tonight's Lackawanna League wrestling match between the Delaware Valley Warriors and the Scranton Knights. Good evening, everyone. I'm John Mandola. We'll be joined Matt side by Bob Ide. Mike Slusser with us tonight, our wrestling guru, to talk a little bit about this matchup. A young Delaware Valley team against an experienced Scranton team. And for you, Mike, checking out Tyler Moraski, a senior, a guy who they expect big things this year, and he should be a leader tonight for DV.
Yeah, their big senior leader had a great offseason, put in 100 matches from the end of last year until the beginning of this season. It turned out to be a Lackawanna League title for him in there, and he's been their senior leader so far this year.
And then over for Scranton, that experience back with the Rui guys and Andrew Burgett. He's quick, he's strong, he could do it all, and he has high expectations as a senior, and he's done a lot so far.
Yeah, great start to the season for him. A first place in the Flow Excalibur, the tournament at Wilkes that Wyoming Seminary runs. A second place in the Lackawanna League tournament. Second place in the Holiday Christmas tournament. A great start to the season for him.
All right, well, our very own Bob Ide catching up with the coaches. Let's hear from Bob.
I'm with both head coaches now from Scranton High School, Jim Morgan, and we'll start with Lou DeLaro from Delaware Valley. And Coach, where do you think this match might be won for you guys tonight?
We have to win up top. You know, Scranton's very tough down low, you know, from 106 to 132, 138. Actually, they're real solid. Our hope is, you know, in the upper weights to kind of to gain some momentum, to get some wins, and then, you know, just wrestle hard down at the lower weights. We're young, but we have a lot of talent down there and a lot of fire. So, you know, I'm hoping the good atmosphere, you know, carries those guys through.
Let's go to Jim Morgan now, and Coach, kind of the same question for you, but you know this is a big match for you guys because you got to be the best. You got to beat the best. They're defending league champs. How do you beat Delaware Valley tonight?
If I really knew the answer to that, we would have done it before. But the key is almost to what Coach said: is we have to the opposite score a lot of points where we have the advantage down low, and then even save points or even try to steal a match up top.
Thank you. Good luck to both Coach Lou and Coach Jim, and we'll go back to John right now.
Well, 8 years ago, Lou DeLore, the Delaware Valley coach, lost his first match. That was against Scranton. Since then in the Lackawanna League, he's won them all. Let's see what happens tonight when we come back with live wrestling here from Scranton High School.
This is a Fox 56 sports presentation on MyTV WQMY.
Welcome back to Scranton High School, Lackawanna League Wrestling, Delaware Valley and Scranton. John Mandola along with Mike Slusser. Bob Ide will be joining us here. Matt side, as you already heard about the coaches. We're going to get to the starting lineups for tonight. 106 pounds for Delaware Valley. Joe Gillespie Porco going to go against either Mark Legan or Bobby Zielinski. 113 Nathan Harlan versus Joshua Rivera. Mike McKinney versus Willie Evaninski. And then you got Jake Darty and Jeremiah Oakes. AJ Montalvo going against Jacob Burgett. You got James Lynch and Rui Evaninski.
The Rui guy.
Yeah, the Rui guy. And then over at 145, Sean Jones versus Burton Stucker. 152, Tyler Moraski that Mike talked about. Brandon Cruson, Gabe Lacello against Ada McNally. RJ Korfman against that Andrew Burgett guy who's pretty darn good. Shane Fagan will go against either Reggie Dickey or Brian McGuigan. And then Troy Moore at 194. He'll go against one of those other two guys, I believe, against Scranton. John McCarthy against Jack Melia. And then Thomas Lamb and Simon Ubera, who is a junior for the Scranton Knights.
Meet starts off at 195 tonight, so we'll start right at 195 pounds, which is an interesting spot because, as you said, Scranton's going to have to bump someone up from 182 to 195. So we'll see who that is very early. It'll be either Reggie Dickey or Brian McGueen. And then you will have, it'll actually be McGueen that actually goes up. And then you have two key matches at 220 and 285. Really two coin flip matches. Two guys in Jack Millian and John McCarthy and Simon Ubera and Thomas Lamb, who both wrestled twice at the Lackawanna League tournament, and they split them. They went 1-1. As a matter of fact, Ubra and Lamb both pinned each other. Lamb pinning him for third place, and Uber beating him in the quarterfinals to pin him there. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that works out.
These guys just getting ready to start here as Ken Spangenberg, our referee this evening, will get this underway as get a little meeting at the center of the mat, Mike.
Yeah, the captains go up there. They'll flip the the disc basically that's red and green to see what matches go first, who has to send out first, who gets the first choice when we get into the matches, whether you go down or whether you go up in the second and third period.
So Troy Moore looking like he'll be the guy to go for here for Delaware Valley. He is a junior. And Brian McGigan, the senior, will be the choice for Scranton at 195 pounds.
And this is an important match for Troy Moore and for Delaware Valley. As you heard Coach talk about in the pregame when he was talking to Bob, they need to get going on their upper weights. They need to start off hot. They need to try to get some big points early out of these upper weights because the lower weights, Scranton really does dominate.
And one thing that the Delaware Valley coach Lou DeLauro spoke to is he said, listen, there's about 8 matches that could go either way. Now we're hearing that Reggie Dickey will be the guy here at 195 pounds.
Yeah, it was Dickey that came over. Dickey hasn't wrestled yet this season. He did wrestle a lot in junior high, had some high places in junior high. You can see he's kind of a big athletic kid. You know, might wrestle 182. I think he plays at like 174 for football, so it's a little bit over his weight at this, but he is a solid wrestler.
And he is a 10th grader. Got super quick hands as we've seen so far.
Nice physical job there of getting in and kind of went for the shot, and when he didn't get in, just kind of grabbed by the head and threw more to the ground. It shows his strength and his athletic ability.
Now the pace from Dickey looks a little fast. He keeps up this pace the whole way. It could be a long match, but you know, for him, it seems like he's got to attack early and get in there, Mike.
Well, I think that's his key right now because when you're just coming off of a football season, a nice pick attempt there and covers up nicely for the takedown. But you come out of football season, you think you're in shape when you get to wrestling, but wrestling shape is different than almost any other shape. And, you know, if you're more in this situation, you want to hold on, try to keep this score low to start because you have a feeling that Dickey might gas towards the end.
I grabbed 2 on that.
And they give him a 1 there for a neutral. So it's 2-1 now, Dickey leading more.
Dickey from Scranton in the black singlet, and Delaware Valley has the gray with the black trim.
See, they work the head here now. This is something that, you know, Dickey's setting it up now, sets it up into a beautiful double and takes him down, lifts and just drops him down to the mat. Nice job of changing his hips, getting in. You can see Dickey does have that experience. Might be his first match of the year, but he's been a very good junior high wrestler before this.
You can tell he's put together pretty well. Very vascular young fella here for the Scranton Knights. 49 seconds to go here in the first period of our first match tonight at 195 pounds, where we're starting out here on My TV. John Mendola and Mike Slusser. Bob Ide will be joining us shortly along the way here.
Quick cut there makes it 4-2 now as Moore gets his second escape. As it looks like Reggie Dickey does not necessarily want to have to ride on top. And once again, nice job close to getting a takedown there, but in high school, once you get a part, both guys have a part of out of bounds, you're out of bounds automatically. College, you just have to have one toe in from one guy to stay in bounds. Dickey trying to go in for a little ankle pick there. He came back with that a couple of times, had a nice double as well. Really setting up a lot of offense out of that head tie. And Moore, I think he's going to give up 2 there. Yeah, just kept his feet just in bounds, kind of like a receiver in football there, just keeping those 2 toes in bounds and able to get the takedown on Moore.
14.6 seconds to go here in the first period between Reggie Dickey of Scranton and Troy Moore of Delaware Valley.
See if Dickey can hold him down. He's had some problems staying on top. We'll see if Moore can get a cut here. He wants to try to get one in that next 10 seconds and get out for a point as they go out of bounds. Now 6 seconds. He's going to want to work hard for that stand-up, try to get the extra point, make it 6-3 going into the second period. quick stand-up, and I don't know, good cut there. Nice job by Moore to get out and make it 6-3 at the end of the first period.
Dickey has worked pretty darn hard in this first period. Only has a 3-point advantage, so Moore's been very defensive at this point, but again, not too far off.
Yeah, and for Dickey, as I said, I mean, I don't know if he's in full wrestling shape yet. You can tell he's already a little bit winded, breathing a little heavy. And for Moore, you're just biding your time here. Now, Dickey's going to quickly just cut him. He's just going to give him neutral, which makes it 6-3. Another nice move there. He does a nice little sweep where he pushes Moore off and gets to the leg, uses that quickness that he has the advantage on.
Jim Morgan looking on and watching Reggie Dickey go to work. Another takedown for him. So now he's going to go up 8-4 with that takedown.
And another very nice double. He does a great job of getting down, driving forward. It's that football skill that he has. It's a tackle almost to that extent. It's kind of a blast double is the best way to look at it.
And one thing Lou DeLauro, I think, is hoping for in this match, Mike, is not to give up 6 points. If they give up 3, that's going to help DV. If, and again, not that it's over by any means, but as Moore keeps kind of staying close, 8-5 now.
Yeah, and I think that it really, if you're hoping that Moore can gas him here and can come out with a victory here at the end. Now, Dickey athletically obviously has him, but we'll see what he can do skill-wise. He's been very good on his feet so far.
So raw talent right now out of Reggie Dickey, the sophomore, as tries to stay in bounds and get yet another takedown. He's been a takedown machine here in this one, but giving up a bunch of escapes.
That is a terrific little pass that he does to get back and go right in on that double. And you can, if he keeps getting 2 and Moore keeps getting 1, the math means at the end will be good.
Well, now he's asking for some injury time here. Got the wind knocked out of him, I believe.
Yeah, a little gas there when he went down.
Jim Morgan walking over with Coach Burgett and the trainer.
See what exactly happened to him here as he comes down. Comes in on that double, another nice lift, drive directly into the mat. Great job there. And then he kind of just keeps going. I don't know exactly what he ended up doing there. Kind of goes out of bounds and then just, looks like he's just took a little bit of a shot there when he went down.
There's Lou DeLauro talking to his man, Troy Moore.
Might be a little bit of a low blow for himself that he took too. Sometimes you come down a little hard in that situation. He's been driving those doubles the entire time. He has that really nice setup where he pushes over to the side and takes him down.
So Moore trailing Dickey by 5 here in the second period. 51 and change on the clock in our first match tonight.
So he's going to cut him again, give him another point. Make it 10-6. Dickey keep trying to set up that double again. You see he goes to the head. He's going to keep trying to push him out of the way and trying to get him, use that speed, get him going in one direction, change his angle, and come across right there again. Nice job of changing, going up and down, left and right. If you stay head on, it's a lot harder to try to get a takedown.
So you're Troy Moore. You know Dickey is quicker there. What do you do while you're on your feet to try to combat that right now?
Right now, another nice double out of Dickey again. And I think if you're Moore at this point, I think what your goal is to try to tie up with him, try to get him out of his comfort zone, because he's been very happy getting out and being able to use his athleticism in space. Now you see Dickey starting to ride a little bit, going with the parallel ride as they go out of bounds here with 10 seconds left. So once again, Moore's going to try to get a cut here, get out for 1, get a quick stand-up, get out, try to make it 12-7 going into the third. And like I said, just continue to try to figure out a way. Maybe once he gets on top, he can start to slow down Dickey as well.
Less than 10 seconds here, and we'll get an escape from Moore as he ended up rolling over 12-7 now, down 5 in this match.
And a great double right off the whistle. A huge takedown there for Dickey right at the end of the period. Now we'll see what he ends up doing here. He might just take neutral, I think. Yeah, he will take neutral. He doesn't need to go down here and take a point.
Jig Morgan giving some instructions to Reggie Dickey here as we enter the third period. He's leading by 7, 14-7. In our opening match tonight from Scranton High School, Lackawanna League. Delaware Valley has been on quite a run Nobody has been able to beat them. The last team to beat them in the league, Scranton, that was 8 years ago.
It looks like Moore is going to still stay kind of free from him here as they stay across. He really wants to get in and get that tie up in and try to work things off of that tie, because when Dickey's been out in the open, he's been able to really hit that double. But he needs to work on some sort of offense here. He needs to change where Dickey is, and he's not doing that right now.
Both wrestlers, you can see, are quite winded at the 112 mark here in the third.
And Moore's goal was to try to wear down Dickey, but it looks like he wore himself down too along the way. And you see Dickey has slowed down too, as he hasn't had that same quickness in this third period. But when you have a 7-point lead, for Dickey, you want one more takedown, trying to get that major decision, get 4 points here. And for Moore, you're doing everything you can to try to avoid that takedown.
We're going down the scoring, Mike. Obviously, a pin is worth 16 points. A tech fall, 15-point win in the match is worth 5.
Moore there with the quick then. Then, of course, you have a major decision. A major decision is worth 4 points, and a regular decision is worth 3 points. Once again, Dickey's pretty tired at this point. Moore seems pretty tired as well, and both of them are kind of looking up at the clock like, well, there's only 30 seconds left to go here. If you're Moore, a takedown would be big to try to make sure you don't get majored.
20 seconds, so you got to dig in a little bit here and try to grind in that last, now 15 seconds here.
Dickey needs one more shot, and there it is. And he's going to get the takedown. That's a big takedown.
Tells him, stay down, pull him in, don't let him out. And for Lou DeLauro, he was hoping maybe he could do something on that, but the 16-7 will score Scranton 4 points.
And that's big. Yeah, that's a 4-point win there for Reggie Dickey. His first match this season, and a great job from him of getting a major decision in a spot where Delaware Valley really thought they could get a win there. So we'll move on to 220. It'll be Jack Malia and John McCarthy.
This is a coin flip match, in your opinion, Mike?
Yeah, here's the takedown there. That last takedown, the big takedown from Dickey there to get it. And that was what he got the major decision from. Now Malia and McCarthy, as I said, these two went 1-1 in the Lackawanna League tournament, where Malia actually beat McCarthy 9-2 in the third place match. But McCarthy pinned him earlier in the tournament.
Yeah, McCarthy looks like he's got that explosiveness to him. Trying to tie him up here.
Those upper body ties that you see there. Nice job of getting the double underhooks there for Malia. Trying to get a throw off on McCarthy. It looks like McCarthy's not as comfortable in those ties. Now they're kind of coming down into just that head-to-head that you'll get. One of these guys has to be able to switch where they are. Try to get to the left, try to get to the right, try to get higher, try to get lower, try to figure out a way to get in. Once again, in deep on those underhooks. And you can tell that McCarthy doesn't want any part of it. He's just backing out from it.
How much does that take out of you, trying to put all that energy into getting that squeeze in there?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of weight to lift, too, when you get up to this. I mean, it's 220 pounds that you're trying to jack up and get under there. I mean, no matter how much you weigh, that's still a lot of weight to lift. McCarthy's got to move on to his offense here. Try to figure out a way to get down to the legs of Malia as opposed to keeping this upper body fighting going on along the way. And for Malia, you're trying to get in those underhooks. See if you can get a throw off, see if you can get some sort of takedown out of it, maybe get a shrug and get to the outside.
31 seconds here in the first period between these two 220-pounders. John McCarthy, the 10th grader. He's in black, and over in gray is Jack Malia, the senior for Delaware Valley with the black stripe.
And McCarthy might be a sophomore, but last year he finished third at districts at heavyweight, so he's got some experience. Once again, in on those underhooks deep. Nice job there fighting that off. Malia's been unable to get anything out of those double underhooks, as McCarthy has really been smart about it, getting out of bounds every time. So scoreless first period, which you'll get at this weight, and you get at heavyweights and the 220 a lot. McCarthy defers. Now he goes to neutral, which is interesting in a match like this because if you go on bottom, you can get out, you can get your 1 point, and you can get right back up to neutral. Taking neutral means that if there's no scoring this period, once again in on those underhooks, watch out for the headlock there. And now they're going to get stalling on McCarthy as he's been backing out away from those underhooks, so they call a stalling so that he has to try to give some extra action in. So he keeps working in and getting that inside control, which means he gets those underhooks so he can push him down. And you can tell coach there telling him he wants him to get him up when he goes under and get right down in and shoot from there. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to snap him. When he works on the inside, he wants to snap him down and go right in on a shot. He's kind of just staying there ear to ear and pushing along.
Veteran referee and Ken Spangenberg tonight.
Now when McCarthy gets in there, and now there's a shot from Uber. Let's see if we have McCarthy able to go right around to the outside and get a turnaround there and get a takedown. Now with a minute left, he's going to work hard on top here, and you can tell, really nice job of coming across there with a half. Working one side, working the other.
A lot of energy right now for McCarthy from Delaware Valley in the gray and black.
You can tell he really likes to work on top. And now he does not look like he's happy to be down there on him.
Lou DeLauro really trying to get behind John McCarthy, the 10th grader.
And now we get a stall on Malia as he's not trying to do anything there. And once again, McCarthy working hard to try to get a turn here. Nice job by Malia on the bottom, or by Uber on the bottom, or by Malia on the bottom, I'm sorry. That's keeping himself square, keeping himself down, not letting himself get turned here with 8 seconds to go.
Just 5 seconds left here.
Now interesting here, you have a strategy decision here if you're McCarthy. You can choose to take up in this situation, get yourself back in the situation you were just in because you are leading 2-0. You take bottom, you get out, you end up neutral again, 3-0. You have a lead, but now you're back into that pummeling position where you're standing up on your feet. Looks like we got a blood stoppage here. As they'll stop and clean the blood off of, looks like his nose there or his lip.
See the Scranton coaching staff, then now over to Lou DeLauro, the head coach here for Delaware Valley.
And when you're in the blood time like that, he can't coach when he's over there. But on the Scranton side, Jim Morgan can coach his wrestler as they wait for the blood to get cleaned up. And he is. McCarthy's going to take top here. This is very interesting.
I think Lou DeLauro, said this is what I'd like to see you do, so let's see if it works. Got control of the one wrist now. Fighting back is Malia.
So now watch, he gets this far wrist, and he's going to try to work back for that half across. Malia, though, doing a nice job standing up. Now trying to return him down to the mat. He's got to get his hips underneath and lift. Now he's breaking that grip and gets himself out for the escape. And now that strategy just backfired.
1:28 on the clock here in the third period. Scranton leading 4-0 in the team points. 2-1 here. John McCarthy, the sophomore, against Jack Malia, the senior.
I'll see if Malia can work himself into a takedown again. He went for that shot to the legs. McCarthy was able to get around him. We'll see if McCarthy can work himself into a shot low. As he's taking those two hands and he's keeping that inside control. As long as he is inside, as long as McCarthy is inside of Malia's arms, he can't do anything from the outside. It's whoever is the inside man has the advantage when you're in these tie-ups.
Still pretty good energy for 220 pounds right now, these guys.
Yeah, two guys that are in pretty good shape here at this weight. Still, you see McCarthy's got that inside control on him. Makes Malia have a lot of problems trying to get into the inside there. He's trying to get himself in. It's called pummeling. When he reaches that right arm in there, you see how he's trying to get that arm inside of McCarthy's so he can work into that underhook. So we have two guys now that don't seem to want to go anywhere. There's into those underhooks again, right in the middle of the ring. McCarthy, though, able to get himself free of them.
15 seconds to go. They're hoping for a takedown here from Melia from Scranton. Can he pull one off here in the final 8 seconds? Right now, McCarthy holding them up. The final.
He's got it locked up. He's going to go for it. The trip, and he's down, and they're going to get the two, and he's on his back. The buzzer is sounded. It's only going to be the takedown, but that's going to be the win. Malia was in on those unders a bunch of times, had to really go for it there at the end, gets in on the trip, and a big takedown to win the match in the final second.
Boy, was he fired up and going to fire up his team right now.
As we said, that was a big coin flip match between those two, and you just see Malia come in right at the end and get this takedown. It's unbelievable that he's able to do it.
Now we get right into the heavyweights here. Thomas Lamb, a senior for Delaware Valley. Simon Ubera, 11th grader for Scranton.
Once again, these guys actually traded pins in the Lackawanna League tournament, with Lamb pinning Ubera in the third place match in the consolation finals.
Well, on cue, Mike, you mentioned that last match could have went either way, and it came right down to the wire. This one you expect kind of a similar result. Now we got a quick takedown here from Scranton.
And this is trouble right here. He's got that headlock wrapped in, trying to get that shoulder down. Referee looking in and still fighting hard as Lamb underneath there. That's a lot of weight on that far shoulder, and there's the fall.
Ubera victorious for Scranton, which puts him up 13 after 3 matches. Well, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with weights 106, 113, and 120 on MyTV. Welcome back to Scranton High School, our rivalry of the week, Delaware Valley and Scranton High School Wrestling. John Mendola, Mike Slusser, take down Scranton Simon Ubera, showing his opponent the lights. And now we get right to 106 pounds.
Really quick takedown there from Robert Zielinski.
So Zielinski's a 9th grader. He's 5-1, taking on Joe Gillespie Porco, who is also a freshman for Delaware Valley.
He's got a 6-9 record. He's not a bad wrestler, but really a great start to a freshman season for Zielinski. 5-1 on the year. Has a Lackawanna League tournament as he took first place in that tournament. He's just looked really tough to start off his high school career here.
Zielinski right now on top in dark colors with the Knights. And for Delaware Valley with the gray is Joe Gillespie Porco.
4-0 lead already as he gets him back. He's going to come back in. So you watch him underneath there. He's going to grab that wrist, and he's going to try to draw it in and get a tilt out of it and try to put him on his back. So he reaches across, grabs that wrist. Now he's going to throw a half on the other side, and he's going to try to run a half in a wrist. Gets that half in. He doesn't like it, though. He's not running it from the outside when he gets in there. Still trying to get that wrist control there. If you're Porco underneath, you're really trying to get a hold of Zielinski's wrists to stop him from getting these moves on top so you can try to get out. But he's got him right there on his wrist. And he keeps working that wrist and working his weight right on top of him. Even though it's only 106 pounds, you can see how he's up on his toes there, and he's putting all of his weight right into the middle of his back. It keeps him down there. Another nice half. He's going to lock it into a cradle, and now this is going to be trouble.
7 seconds for survival here for DV. Trying to get out of it.
Nice job. Goes back, grabs that leg. A nice counter there. Makes it hard for him to take it over and manages to avoid getting turned onto his back.
Jim Morgan, along with Coach Evidensky. Of course, Rui and Willie Evidensky, pretty darn good. Gave him a little joke in our pregame of the Rui guys, but they're two heck of a wrestlers, and Rui's had a little bit of an injury. We'll talk about him a little bit later. Coming back as we're back here, 1:06 in the second period, and control right now from Bobby Zielinski.
Yeah, Zielinski starts there on bottom, stands up, and as Porco goes to take him back, he turns it into a switch. He comes around, drops him back, and comes right around to the outside and gets the reversal to take the 6-0 lead.
1:34 on the clock here in the second. It is a 13-point team advantage for Scranton, and they are in control in the fourth match as well tonight. So it's been a domination right now from the Knights. Delaware Valley figured they would be the big underdog tonight, but still felt, Coach DeLauro still felt, hey, if some things go our way, we still have a chance to beat them.
Takes that wrist once again and tilts him over. He rolls across, puts him back, get back points that way. He's probably going to get 2 on tilt, but he adds 2 more points to his lead and takes an 8-0 lead. You don't really pin anybody in a tilt, but what you can do is you can rack up a lot of back points that way. And he keeps working, keeps grabbing that wrist, snaps that arm in, snaps him down with the tight waist, reaches across, grabs that far wrist. Now it looks like he's going to work a bar in on him there, puts his arm on his back, has the wrist in the bar, and now this is going to be really hard. He's going to have to roll through this, and he's going to get pinned before he can. So Bobby Zielinski comes up with a pin as well. Just tough wrestling there on top from Zielinski as he keeps coming in, keeps working that half, working that wrist, and eventually works himself into a pin.
19-0 after Bobby Zielinski at 106 pounds. The 9th grader gets the win.
And then we're going to have a forfeit at 113. As Joshua Rivera will get a forfeit. That'll make it 25-19 now. Or 25-19. It's hard to keep track at this point. Now we'll see at 120, Willie Evanitsky, and Mike McKinney. Evanitsky's had a great start to his season so far.
So Willie Evanitsky, sophomore, going against Mike McKinney.
These two wrestled in districts last year, with Evanitsky getting the win at 106 pounds with a pin. They wrestled in the Lackawanna League tournament. Evanitsky with a big win there as well, an 11-0 victory. He's had a big start to his season. He's the district runner-up from last year, 4th place in the flow tournament, 2nd place in the in there as well. So Evanitsky comes back, works that head. You can see now he's just trying to get him in the middle of the ring, the middle of the mat, I should say.
Evanitsky so quick.
Hit on that head on the inside single there quickly to get across.
Looks like he's got a great body type for 120 pounds. I mean, he looks lean, but quick and strong. He's the total package.
Yeah, nice pick there as he comes across to the outside. And he comes back across, quickly gets the half, and gets the bar, and now this is going to be a pin again, as that is a deep half. Puts his chest right on his chest, lines him up nicely, and still holding him down. Nice job. Trying to get him down. There it is. There's the pin. Just a great half there, and he comes across and takes him down.
Well, it has been rock and roll time here for the Scranton Knights. They put up 31. We're going to take a timeout. We will be back with 126 pounds live high school wrestling on MyTV.
This is a Fox 56 sports presentation on MyTV WQMY.
Here back at Scranton High School. After 6 matches, the Knights have run the gamut 31-0 over Delaware Valley. Mike Slusser with me, Bob Ide, Matt Side as well. And Mike Slusser, for you, it has just been a domination so far for the Knights.
Yeah, it's been a great start so far for Scranton. as McKinney is going to bump up here to take on Jeremiah Oaks. Very interested to see Jeremiah Oaks wrestle. He's a freshman who had an outstanding Lackawanna League tournament. I mean, he just came from nowhere, came in, upset the #1 wrestler, came across, and really, you know, just had a dominating performance to end up winning that.
So Oaks is the 9th grader. He's 9-7 for Scranton.
This is actually Mike McKinney from Delaware Valley at 7-5.
McKinney is the 10th grader.
And nice job there by Oaks getting in on that double. Now he's going to try to lift him here. McKinney, though, hipping nicely, using a nice sprawl here. See, he's got that arm in on the back there. It's a whizzer, trying to push him down and get him free. And now he's down to a single leg. So he'll reach back, grab the ankle here on defense. For offense, you're trying to get down on that single leg, spin around to the outside. But now he's doing a nice job of getting his legs free. Oaks trying to reshoot himself in here, and now we end up with nothing. A nice scramble there. Good defense by McKinney to keep Oaks off of his legs.
You see that? We are 45 seconds left here in the first period, and these two pretty darn active.
Yeah, they're going at it, and that's what you get in the lighter weights, two guys going at it. That time a shot for McKinney. Nice reshot there into the double. Still driving his way forward. Nice job here by McKinney. That sprawl. Still fighting his way out. And Oaks now has got himself in a bad position as he's extended once again, but he keeps coming back up to his feet. He's pretty relentless with this shot. Now we'll see if he's going to go to a roll. But now they're out free again. So McKinney with some very good defense here.
Slippery, very slippery. Nice job for Mike McKinney is staying out of any of this stuff here thrown at him with just 3 seconds left here in the first period.
So really entertaining match here to start. Oaks in on a couple of great shots. McKinney kind of fighting him off. And you see the balance that takes and the hip strength it takes to keep him off when you're in like that.
Second period between these two at 126 pounds.
McKinney takes bottom. Oaks goes right to that ankle. Now you see that you don't want to come back across like this because basically you're just getting into this position again if you're McKinney. You want to turn away from where he grabs your ankle instead of turning into it.
So Oaks right now putting out a lot of energy to try to handle Mike McKinney.
See Oaks doing the same thing that we saw from Zielinski at 106, where he's taking that wrist and he's trying to use it to get to a half, use it to get to tilts, use that wrist control. McKinney, though, with a nice stand-up, squares up, kind of puts himself in that same position he's been in throughout most of this match.
We talk about flexibility, McKinney's got it. I mean, he is kind of defended just about everything.
Now Oaks is maybe holding on to this a little too long. He should be trying to get back up to his feet and square this off so he only gives up 1 instead of 2. But he kind of comes out the back door there and gets himself in position. He is still considered to be on top even though he's underneath.
Quick turn, he's going to get 2.
No 2 there because he never got out. So he just stays on top, so it's still 0-0.
This thing's like a rubber band match, could go either way.
Yeah, they're just rolling back and forth in there, going all over the place.
Can't get just very impressed with McKinney and just staying out of stuff.
And now for Oaks, he's just trying to do all he can to ride him out here. McKinney, though, with 25 seconds left, if he doesn't score here from bottom, he goes into the disadvantage. Now he's got that cradle wrapped up. See, he's got it locked up there. Now he's going to try to take him right back over the shoulder there, and nice job of settling into the cradle. Not allowing McKinney to roll it over, and this is going to be 3 back points. And he is in danger of being pinned here. That shoulder's getting closer and closer, but rolling out is McKinney. Time expires, and Oaks takes a 3-0 lead into the third period. So now Oaks will take down with the 3-0 lead. And we'll see what McKinney can do on top. Tries to put that leg in. Now you see how he reaches that leg up. And he's going to try to sneak right out the back again. Try to get McKinney to get too high here. and shake him right off. He needs to get his hips up. There he goes and pops out for the reversal.
There's the 2. So 5 now for Scranton's Jeremiah Oaks.
Right back into that wrist again, grabs both wrists there. If you're McKinney, you want to try to get a hold of Oaks' wrist so you can get your base up and get moving out. But Oaks is doing a great job controlling on top, getting in, getting those wrists, pulling them in and under. And you basically, when you put your weight on the middle of the guy's back, when his wrists are underneath, you smack his head right onto the mat like that.
So with 1:08 and counting here in the third period and a 31 team point lead after 6 matches, Scranton dominant here in the 7th one as well right now with a 5-0 lead.
Oaks trying to work a cross-face cradle there. He reaches across his face, reaches, grabs that far leg. That's how he got the turn last time. And once again, I think he's got it locked up underneath there. He does. But he wants to hop to the other side, sweep that ankle, and kind of just draw him back. Instead, he's trying to draw him over his own body. He wants to bring his hips around to the other side instead of going across his back like that. Now McKinney trying to work his way out. He wants to get his hips up and get out, try to get an escape here, even with 20 seconds left. He's going to need a big move, down 5 points, if he wants to do anything.
These guys are pretty tired after 3 periods and 19.3 seconds left. But they'll still give it a whirl here with 19 to go.
Nice job there by Oaks, coming across, making sure he can't get out. And really a nice win here for Jeremiah Oaks, a 5-0 victory over McKinney, bumping up. McKinney's a pretty good wrestler. He was a 106-pounder last year, finished 3rd in the Lackawanna League tournament, 120. And Oaks put together a nice match there to beat him 5-0.
126 pounds, win by decision for the night, Jeremiah Oaks.
So Jeremiah Oaks victorious at 126 pounds.
So move on to 32.
For Delaware Valley, Jack Dardia.
And it'll be Jacob Burgett, the younger brother of our featured wrestler Andrew Burgett. And does a quick move there to get that leg up. Nice sweep single. Comes across but ends up out of bounds, so they'll stay neutral.
Burgett pretty darn focused and ready to go here. 34-0 is the score. Scranton in front of Delaware Valley.
Working that head, once again trying to get those passes. He's got a lot of quickness here, does Burgett. And now he's just going to kind of let him go and let's get to the outside, knowing he couldn't get a takedown there that close to the edge of the mat. Dardio really working the edge of the mat here. He doesn't necessarily want to get into the middle. Trying to get Burgett coming at him. And you see Burgett wants to wrestle right in the center of the mat. Little eye poke there. Happens. Tapping on the head, tapping on the head. Thumb ends up in the eye.
Doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
That's one of the more fun things. You should try some of the things that aren't really fun.
Well, obviously, we'll check the eye out. Coach Lou DeLauro and the trainer from Scranton.
Just kind of do a quick check there. Usually it just takes a second, just like any other time you get poked in the eye. It takes that second to kind of rub your eye and everything is fine. Give a little bit.
Let's check out the schedule, Mike. Parkland duels coming up.
Yeah, that's another District 11. Delaware Valley really makes it difficult on themselves. They like to wrestle as many tough tournaments and as many tough duels as possible, get a lot of tough matches in, and it really shows with how well they usually do at the end of the season.
Little escape the rock action going on. And
that is a tough tournament.
Well, that's what Lou DeLauro said. Hey, we'll wrestle them all tough. We don't care. And you see now Burgett trying to fend off. And
gets around to the back and gets a turnaround there for 2 for the takedown. So he gets a 2-0 lead now. Look at him get that. He gets that leg in there. Kind of snuck it in nicely on that back right leg. Now from here, what he can do is he's going to try to reach underneath his arm. And that's a nice job. He comes right across with the crossface, grabs him by the head, and holds him down and gets his back points there. What you do is you get that leg in, you reach across the body, and you make the bottom man make a decision. He's either got to let you get that far arm, or if he tries to defend that far arm, you just take him by the head and you just throw him right over like he did there for the tilt.
Jacob Burgett now leading by 4 here in the first period at Scranton High School.
That time, nice job by Darty getting that arm of Burgett. Burgett still gets the leg in, but now he's got to try to work that arm free. There he gets that arm out. Now he's going to try to work that far arm. Now he's got that head tilt again if he wants it. He can come back with a crossface, throw his hips across, and get it. Keeps working back to the end of the first period. Nice job by Burgett there with those legs in. Watch this takedown here. He comes across, sweeps him nicely. That's a nice throw by there as he gets him to come across, takes him by the head and throws him in the direction he's going in, and then he goes in the opposite direction, spins right around for the takedown.
Quick and power right there in a half a second. Great move by Burgett. Leading by 4 in period number 2.
And by the time you say that, he's already got a point and he's up by 5. Quick stand up, get out nicely, did a nice job getting his hand control, breaking the grip, and just pulling himself out. Very patient here is Burgett. He sees what Darty's plan is, and he tries to keep his own plan working as well.
You see the wrist taped up there. You got a knee on the other guy. I mean,
yeah,
those are common things in wrestling, right?
This is, if you go a wrestling season and you don't have something with your wrists, your fingers, your knees, your ankles, everything, your neck, it's all sore at some point during the season. It's a physical sport, obviously. It's basically 2 guys just fighting in the middle of a mat.
See Burgett trying to grab some more.
Yeah, back to that little throw by there. He gets him to the outside, makes it so that he's pushing in one direction and the guy's pushing in the other direction, then uses his momentum to flip him across. They ended up being out of bounds before he got the takedown, but another nice job of using leverage there by Burgett. Now look out here.
Burgett.
Good job by Darty getting out of that. He could have been in real trouble there.
Nice job by, again, Jacob Burgett, a 10th grader for Scranton High School. 34-0. The Scranton Knights leading. We're at 132 pounds. Our match tonight started at 195 pounds.
Now
so
this is when you get that leg in, you reach across, you pull him across the body, you grab his head. Now that is pain, and that is a pin. The guillotine from Jacob Burgett turns into a pin, and just an absolute domination here from Scranton.
That doesn't sound too good.
No, when the name of the move is the guillotine, that's bad.
Yeah. They got names for everything. You know, you mentioned the Whizzer and, you know, all these other things. Never heard of the Chaponus before, but talk about these different moves, and they just originate somewhere and then they throw them in, right?
Yeah, that's basically what happens. Is sometimes you'll get them named after somebody who comes up with the move. Sometimes you just happen to have a name for that move, what it's called. Now here's your Rui guy.
This guy's pretty darn good. Rui Evidensky.
Oh, no, actually, they're not going to wrestle Rui.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to move up. That'll be good to see him.
So we're going to get Kevin Flores, the wrestler, at 138.
All right. James Lynch over on the other end for
James
DV.
Lynch for DV. Oh, it's actually Jones. It's Sean Jones.
Okay. All right, some movements in the lineup,
Yeah,
as expected. Always happens in wrestling.
Always happens in wrestling. It's never set to start with. You can move guys around to whatever, one weight above where they weigh in all the time.
For Scranton, Kevin Flores. For Delaware Valley, Sean Jones.
Jones is actually ranked 7th in the WVC D2 Northeast Regional rankings. 9-7 on the season. Took 3rd in the Lackawanna League tournament. Flores, he actually got a win in the tournament over James Lynch, who was the other 38-pounder from Delaware Valley. But see what Jones can do here.
40-0. Did we see 40-0 coming? I mean, you know, Lou DeLauro said, "Hey, we're the underdog," but he felt there's some matches they could. Everything's gone Scranton's way.
Well, everything has gone Scranton's way. At 195, you were hoping you could get a win there, but Dickey comes out, wrestles a great match. He gets that one. We knew that there was a toss-up there with Malya and Uber both, you know, pulling out big wins there to get that. And then these lightweights for Scranton are just so good. I mean, they're young, but they're talented.
Scranton looks like a pretty darn good dual meet team, that's for sure, as we're seeing here tonight against a quality opponent in Delaware Valley who wrestles the big dogs year in and year out, travel all over the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and they do a great job with their Warrior Wrestling Club. The off-season, these guys wrestle a ton of matches, and they really do. I mean, the way they look at it is work is what's going to get there. The steel sharpens steel. The more tough matches they wrestle, the better they'll be wrestling by the end of the season. Now he's got that underhook in the head, but flipping out and breaking free is Flores.
So again, Jones matched up with Kevin Flores from Scranton.
See what Jones gets in there, tries to get a nice shot, but he never set it up. Instead of, he never got himself to an angle, never got himself to a tie, never got himself to anything. Just kind of dove in there and tried to get the shot, which is the easiest one to defend. You always want to try to get an angle of some sort, whether you're higher, whether you're lower, whether you're to the left or to the right, just some sort of angle so you can get in on the shot clean. Jones will take down.
So second period, no score between these two. Mike, talk about weighing in and you know, it's no more just, hey, you and your coach know the weights. Everybody knows the weights. I mean, it goes into a computer system, and, you know, it's 126.2, it's 127.1. I mean, you know, they know your weights pretty often. As wrestling, the game of wrestling has changed a little bit.
Yeah, the game of wrestling has really changed with that because they keep track of these guys' weights. It's not like the old days when you could suck your way all the way down and you'd barely make weight by, you know, you'd see the guy, I mean, when we were in high school, and you'd see the guy with the cup and he'd be spitting all day and he'd make weight by, you know, barely by the end. And it just isn't that way anymore. These guys, you know, they have to cut the right way. They have to make sure their weights are always at a certain level. They weigh them at practice. They can't be a certain height. They can't be over by a certain amount, or they can't wrestle that weight.
And over the years, they've added the 220-pound weight class. There's been talk in the last couple of years, they're going to do away with it. Are they going to increase the heavyweight? I mean, anything you're hearing through the ranks?
You know, I mean, they seem to change it at its own little whim. It always confused me because most guys, most boys in high school weigh somewhere in those middle weights, and it's the heavier weights that are harder to get in and the light weights that are hard to get in. But they keep adding heavier weights, and it's harder to fill those positions. And it's been one of the hard parts over the years is trying to fill those. You know, you have to fill 195, 220, 285, 182. That used to be one guy that would fit into one of those weights. Now you have to have three guys that fit into that weight.
Flores right now from Scranton trying to get something here, Mike.
Yeah, he's working that bar arm very well there. You can see he's trying to reach that far wrist. If he can get a hold of that wrist and bring it underneath, he can use that bar to take Jones right over his back. And Jones doing all he can to try to keep that arm extended and keep Flores off of his wrist. And Flores is just going to try to run the bar with a little hook there underneath. Try to run a hook in a bar there. Now he could come across and throw a half, jump to the opposite side, and try to run a half in a bar. But he's just content right now to hold onto that bar, try to get that wrist, try to get that hook. Now he's lost the bar as well. Nice job by Jones. Once you get free, and now we've got a hands lock. So Flores had his hands locked, which means he's going to give up a technical violation there. You can't lock your hands when the man is down on the mat. When the man is down, you can't lock your hands. When they're standing, you can. When you're still considered neutral, you can lock your hands. But once you're the man on top, you can't lock your hands around the waist or around the body of the man on bottom.
So it's 1-0 now. Sean Jones trying to almost pull that off of an escape.
Yeah, he was almost out there. I don't know if he's going to end up giving it to him here or no, he's not going to give it to him. He got his ankle and got him up before he can go into neutral. That's really important here in this match for Flores. You want to try to keep Jones down here for this last 16.2 seconds.
Second period has flown by here between these two with a 1-point advantage for Sean Jones.
Once again, doing a nice job, gets those wrists, pulls them underneath. It's really hard for Jones to get himself up when he doesn't have any arms to do it with. So Flores leads 1-0, or I'm sorry, Jones leads 1-0. And Flores will go down here. Now for Jones, you know, he wants to give up one here. He doesn't want to give up a reversal for two.
No 3-point buckets in wrestling, right?
No 3-point bucket.
All right. So
There's
now
5-point moves, but no 3-point bucket.
we got a tie score as Jones cut him loose.
Now these two, this match will be won on their feet as they've got a minute 45 to try to get a takedown here for either guy. Nice reshot there by Jones. And he's got to get up on his toes, work his way to that far ankle. He's trying to work behind Flores.
What's Flores trying to do right now?
Flores has a whizzer in there. Nice job by Jones. Just lifted and took him down, put him right to his back. And Flores had to come out. Flores is throwing a whizzer there to try to prevent him from getting around to the back. Puts his arm around his arm and forces him to go there. You can't get a takedown until that whizzer is done. But Jones just lifted him up and just used his strength to throw him down. So no back points there, as the ref did not get off the 2 count with Ken Spangenberg. And now Jones obviously, oh no, they did give him the back points there. So that makes it 5-1.
So Sean Jones in control for Delaware Valley. Looking to get the first win for a DV wrestler tonight. First team points. Break that 0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's always the toughest thing to do is break that 0 the first time, and it took 40 points before they could do it for Delaware Valley, and it's still not over yet.
Nice escape from Kevin Flores.
Flores still has a lot of energy, still working for that takedown. Takes a peek at the clock, sees he has 30 seconds left. Now works right into that wrist. Nice setup into that. Jones kind of just drags him out of bounds as he went for that double leg.
Kevin Flores seeing if he can pull it off against Sean Jones.
Just keeps working for those shots, keeps trying to get in. Jones just trying to defend him off. There's a stall call on Jones. Just a warning. And with a 3-point lead, he can take a couple of those. Jones just holding on tight there. Tried to work his way back in, but couldn't. And Jones is we're gonna whistle in the buzzer here. So the first win for Delaware Valley comes.
Well, that's going to be a timeout for us after Delaware Valley scores 3 points. It is Scranton 40 and DV 3. We'll be back with more live high school wrestling on MyTV. We're back at Scranton High School, live high school wrestling. John Mendola, Mike Slusser, Bob Ide, Matt Side. Our marquee matchup tonight, Gabe Lasella and Aiden McNally at 160 pounds. Mike,
yeah,
that'll be coming in a little while.
That'll be coming up a couple matches from now. Now here's Rui Evanitsky.
Rui Evanitsky, quite the talent for Scranton. He's quick, got the hair flopping, makes it a little bit more, not dramatic, but just kind of makes it a little better to watch when you watch him move around so fast.
Yeah, he does move around.
And bodies flying.
He's just whipping around Lynch with those double underhooks. That's what you want to do when you get in that situation, is just pull him across. He's trying to get that sweep across.
And he's not 100%, but he's still pretty darn good.
You know, he wrestled great last weekend, just this past weekend in the Christmas tournament, in the Tony Iasello, and you know, ended up finishing third, and a big throw there right to his back.
Quick squeeze.
It's one of the fun things sometimes about when you bring these guys on TV is you get these guys and they'll go for the big moves so they can show off a little bit on TV in that situation, and that's exactly what you got there out of Rui Evanitsky, a big throw for a 5-point move to throw him to his back. Now he just goes to a simple tilt. He's got those two wrists once again. You see a lot of these out of the Scranton guys. They obviously work on that a lot in practice, where you get two hands on that one wrist, the two hands, and tilt them right across. And a 10-1 lead for that Rui guy.
high expectations for him this year, not only on the district level but beyond, right?
Right, yeah, he's definitely, I mean, obviously a defending district champion as he cranks him over. He's let go of that leg there, so he's going to try to get a pin here. He's going to try to come across and grapevine that far leg, try to lift both his legs and his head. And if you lift both the legs and the head, the shoulders have to go down, and they do. Yeah, Rui, a defending district champion, favored again this year, of course, and you know, he's got a very tough region, depending on what weight he decides to go at when he gets to the Northeast Regional, especially with a lot of those District 11 guys. But he's a guy that's got state aspirations in his mind.
Rui Evanitsky victorious tonight. 46-3 right now. Burton Stuckert for Scranton.
So Stuckert comes out, and now we've got Tyler Moraski, who we showed in the beginning. We talked about him having a very good year this year, just from hard work. You know, I mean, really last year he had a season where, you know, it was just kind of a regular season. You didn't have anything spectacular, nothing great, but he put in a lot of work in the off season, came into this season, and really has looked very good to start the year. Won the Lackawanna League tournament, finished 8th at the Hurricane Bethlehem Holiday Classic, which is another very tough tournament that, of course, Delaware Valley wrestles plenty of. See them trying to work into that inside. Moraski can be very explosive when he gets in on a move, and there he goes right there, works that that was a great job of working that right into a tilt. Just laced the leg, took him right back on the little pass by. I don't think Stuckert understood even what was happening to him before he was on his back.
It's the legs involved. Moraski now still deep into this match. We are as a team right now. We've gone through 9 or 10 matches or so, and Delaware Valley only has scored 3 points. Scranton has 46, 152 pounds. Only
3 more matches left after this. And really, I mean, this thing went sideways quickly for Delaware Valley. Now Moraski trying to work for some back points. He's got 2 legs in there. Now it's hard to turn a guy when you have 2 legs in. You're basically stuck to just the what they call the power half there, where he takes that forearm, puts it on the back of his head, and he pushes that half down, and you put a little extra into it. You see him just keep coming in and driving that hard. Only 5 seconds left. And it'll be a 2-0 lead at the end of the first period for Moraski.
John Mendola, Mike Slusser with the call tonight. Bob Ide with us as well for live high school wrestling next week. We'll give you some live high school basketball on my TV. Mike, when you see a guy almost getting pinned, you see the arm across their neck, that's all legal.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like the guy's getting choked, but talk about it. It's wrestling.
Well,
right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't, flat choke the guy, but you're basically putting your hand right underneath his chin there. You can't full-on choke him out, but, yeah, it's hard to breathe when you're in there. Nice job again by Moraski there. A nice little throw by, get around, and runners right around behind him for the takedown.
Now, do you think some people wanted to see Moraski go against Evanitsky tonight, or is it still?
Well, you can't. It was too much weight there because of where Evanitsky weighed in. You'd have to bump up 2 weights if you wanted to do that. That's why I was trying to figure out. Actually, we were trying to figure out in the break if Moraski had weighed in a little lower, but he weighed in right at 152 pounds.
And of course, we talked a little bit about that big movement that's been going on for years with the weights and where everybody's at, not dropping down too much.
Yeah, and it's just as you said, it's just hard to really go with a full-on. I mean, there was times I remember being 7-8 pounds overweight to start the week, and you'd have to lose 7 pounds in a week. Guys don't do that anymore. You're being followed the entire time. Moraski's still trying to work that power half across. Now he comes across with a crossface and pulls him over again.
Crossface always feels good, huh?
Yeah, you always like to feel, if you just take your arm and you stick it out and you feel that bone that's right above your thumb, and you just take that and drive it right on the bridge of someone's nose and see how that feels.
Doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun.
No, it doesn't.
Tyler Murawski in command here against Burton Stuckert right now. And
comes across with a body scissor here, and he's got that head. He's kind of holding it like a football and just pushing him into the ground. He's lifting up his hips. And when you lift up the hips like that and you push him down, once again, like we said before, now he's got him there for the pin.
So Delaware Valley gets their first pin. Some good sportsmanship there, of course, from Murawski.
It's always one of the great things about wrestling is that you can beat each other up for 6 minutes and then you pick the other guy up and you can be friends afterwards.
Tyler Murawski, who Mike Slusser spoke about before the match, is victorious. So Gabe Lasella for Delaware Valley and Aiden McNally for the Scranton Knights at 160 pounds.
Yeah, we talked about this as our matchup of the night. These are two very good wrestlers. McNally had a terrific run last. Whoa, and there's a throw right to his back. So McNally comes out with a big throw.
Thought he had him.
Thought he had him there for a second. He was very close. Sella fights his way free, and he's got to get his bearings back here. You get thrown on your back like that, it's jarring in those situations. You got to really get yourself back, and now McNally coming back and getting a cradle locked in and kicking out is Lasella. Yeah, McNally had really a Cinderella run last year in districts, getting all the way to the finals before falling to eventual state place winner Dan Rich.
How about the toughest weight classes still, Mike? I mean, you know, over the years, things have changed a lot. You know, weights have changed, but you still tend to see those 32, 38, 45, right in that range seems to be still big.
You know, and those get tougher as you get out. It's funny that you say that sometimes, is that you see the guys around here, and those are very tough, loaded weight classes, because as I said, a lot of guys, that's their natural weight, is somewhere in those middle weights, and that obviously is the same the whole way through. So we're going to get a cut here as McNally's going to go back on his feet here and give a point to Lasella.
And we've lost the contact, but hey, you got to move on and keep going, right?
Hey, you know what? It's not important. You're really close to each other. You can see.
46-9 team score. Scranton over Delaware Valley.
Once again, I think that Lasella, after getting thrown the one time, wants to have nothing to do with those upper body ties from Aiden McNally.
And Aiden McNally is in the black singlet. And, of course, over on the other side, Gabe Lasalla in the gray with the black side.
20 seconds to go in this period, and now Lasella's kind of coming back to his offense a little bit there. He gets that wrist, tries to throw him by there. He gets a wrist and the overhook, and basically tries to use McNally once again, uses his momentum for him, throw him by, and then just come around from behind.
2 seconds.
So a 4-point throw from McNally is really the big part of that first period. You know, a very evenly matched period, but you get that throw, you get those 4 points, and you got a lot to come back from if you're Gabe Lasella.
And this weekend, there's some team action already in the Wyoming Valley Conference.
Wyoming Valley Conference tournament this weekend, actually, down in the Wyoming Valley Conference. Lackawanna tournament this year very early before Christmas.
So the tournament matches, the small schools and the big schools.
Yes.
Individual championships.
Yes, so the individual championships between both AA and single A. Nice job by McNally there, getting across. Lasella went for a kind of an overhook throw there, and McNally kept his base, gets behind, and gets the takedown. Once again, 6-2 here means that Lasella's got to do something on offense. Tried to get a little throw there, but he needs a takedown in this period. So McNally has got those 2 takedowns and the back points as well to have a 6-3 lead. Once again, nice throw, nice slide by, and a nice job by McNally of keeping himself square. Look out. Now he's got a headlock locked in. Lasella's going to try to roll him through here and try to roll, I think, McNally onto his back. McNally felt it coming, flips over, and it's going to be a reversal. These two guys rolling back and forth on the mat.
Those 7 seconds were exactly why Mike Slusser picked this as the highlight match of the night between Sella and McNally. At 6-5, you're getting your money's worth here in this match.
Actually gets 2 points there for McNally as well, so it goes 10-5 now as the points are coming fast and furious in this match. With the second now for Lasella, get a stall here from McNally. He's really going to try to work something on top here. Definitely do not want to let McNally out here.
5 seconds.
Got to return him to the mat here.
Ouch.
Oh, that turns into hardwood by the end there.
These two guys.
They keep going no matter where it is at this point. They'll wrestle all the way into the stands if they have to.
1 second left here in the period. Shame you got to kind of get down and, you know, get formal and all that for 1 second, and
yeah,
will probably just be nothing.
Just the whistle and the buzzer. So now McNally's going to take down. And we'll see what happens here with Lasella's, if he's going to try to cut him, get to his feet, or if he's going to try to continue to work from top and see if he can get a turn.
46-9, the team scored tonight. Scranton leads Delaware Valley. We'll give you a dual meet action here between Delaware Valley and Scranton.
Yeah, a night where everything has gone Scranton's way. This was the last of the real toss-up matches that we thought we would have tonight. And even this one is going Scranton's way.
And getting back to that Wyoming Valley Conference tournament this weekend, we mentioned that those are small school, big school. You said the Lackawanna League already did theirs. And then in a few weeks, we'll get into some of the team stuff, teams to go to states. And before you know it, it'll be February. And
yeah, before you know it, you're on your way. It's February, it's March, and it seems like the winter sports season just goes so fast. I think because nobody gets into it until you're into January anyway. 11-5, McNally with the lead. Lasella really needs to work here. Does a nice job there. Now he's got that head. There it is, nice throw by, gets to the back and gets his 2. He's been working for that the entire time. Now he's got it. Now let's see, 4 points. If he can't figure out a turn here fast, he's gonna probably have to try to cut him and get him back onto their feet and go for a 5-point move.
How about overall, Mike, as far as district-wise? District 2 trying to gain every year on either District 4 or District 11. It seems like it doesn't get any easier every year.
No, the Northeast region, whether you're in AA or AAA, is not a lot of fun, as District 11 is very good in AAA and District 4 is very good in AA. So now McNally, 30 seconds left, is going to try to hold off Lasella. Lasella needs a big move here in the last 30 seconds. And at the 12-7 lead, McNally can kind of work to the edge of the mat, try to avoid any tie-ups, and Lasella needs to go with something and go with it hard.
Down to 15 seconds here in the third between Gabe Lasella and Delaware Valley, trailing Aiden McNally of Scranton.
And that is going to be it. Nice win for McNally over a tough opponent. As our match of the night, and it was a very good match between the two. A great job at McNally there, that big throw in the beginning and a big throw in the middle.
All right, it's 49-9 Scranton leading Delaware Valley. We'll be back with our final couple matches here on MyTV.
This is a Fox 56 sports presentation on MyTV WQMY.
Welcome back to Scranton High School this Sunday. The NFC Wild Card watches the Green Bay Packers begin the quest for their 5th Lombardi Trophy, while the Redskins look to continue a surprising season. This one could go either way. NFL this Sunday at 4 only on Fox 56. Those NFL playoffs will be getting underway. And right now, it has been a domination from the Scranton Knights.
Yeah, it looks like a football score on the board there with 49-9.
117
Here's our Andrew Brigette, who we talked about in the beginning, having himself an outstanding season for Scranton, as he's really been good. And it was funny, Coach Jim Morgan was talking to him about him, and he said he thinks he can get better. He thinks he can get more consistent. He thinks he's going to be even better by the time he gets to the end of the season. This is another guy second in districts last year. He was second to Cody Cordes, so a guy who ended up in the state finals last year. So that's not a bad second to have. But he's also got state aspirations on his mind. Nice takedown there, does a great job, gets the leg up in the air, and then uses his body to take him down and put him right there, and puts him right into the split scissors. Put a leg in, grab that leg, and then that just, they're gonna stop it there. You'll get a potentially dangerous on that sometimes. It's a fun move to do, but it's a potentially dangerous move too sometimes, as the guy will scream and you'll be left to get up and knock at the pin.
Ouch.
Yeah, no, it's not comfortable.
No.
It's always my favorite part about putting in the legs is that you can always put a lot of pain into people, and it's fun putting pain into people.
Let's look at the Scranton night schedule. Atwell and Pop-Pack next week. Then West Scranton, the rivalry match at Abington Heights, and then the district duels on February 6th. Pop-Pack every year, they've done a nice job up there.
Yeah, they really have. They've done a nice job, and into that league schedule for Scranton, and this is huge for them right now. You got this, this win. This is a big win. You can really win yourself a league this way, and look forward to AAA districts where there's a couple Wyoming Valley Conference teams that look like they're going to be tough this year, but this Scranton team has got to be the favorite going in.
Yeah, Hazleton is a pretty good team this year, so that should be interesting to see how they did. And this weekend, we'll hear from Hazleton and the wrestling program on the Fox 56 Sports Show at 11 o'clock Friday night. So Andrew Brigette on top of R.J. Korfman.
Yeah, when you get on your back like that and you basically scream your way off your back, I guess is the best way to put it. If you have some sort of injury that prevents you from getting pinned, they nail you with an extra point there. That's why he has the 6-0 lead. And as I said, that can be pretty painful when you have your legs spread straight open like that. That's not a way you should normally be able to go.
No, the offensive end of it, as you said, the execution part looks pretty tactical and how you pull that off.
It's a lot of fun to do offensively. It's not a lot of fun to be on the receiving end.
Guys our age, we'd be pulling muscles left and right.
I could pull a muscle just trying to put him into that move.
Andrew Brigette in command here.
He's trying to work that bar arm into a tilt, trying to pull him back across. And then when he gets there, he'll kind of just throw his body over if he can. But 5 seconds left. He's just kind of keeping him down in place now at this point.
So when Brigette, likely will be the guy, one of the favorites probably in District 2. But, trying to get out of District 2, if he does, getting down to District 11, there's going to be a lot of challenges down there, but a Brigette might be a guy who could do it.
Yeah, and his loss this year, he lost to Nick Carr from Abington Heights in the Lackawanna League final, so he may be at the same weight. Also lost to one of the Bethlehem Catholic wrestlers from District 11. Bethlehem Catholic obviously stacked once again this year, as Brigette quickly gets out there to make this 7-0, and we'll see if he can come with another big move from his feet. Up 7-0 in this match. Korfman's a fairly good wrestler. Finished 3rd in the Lackawanna League tournament. He's made it to the semifinals. He's going to win a lot of matches this year, but Andrew Brigette is a little step above.
Brigette looking like he's going to get 2 here, and he does. And then going back to your point, Mike, as we're in the second period between these two, Andrew Brigette right now and a dominator, looking like he may be able to pull off the tech fall here. But you need to almost line it up early in the season as to where your weight's going to be and where you're going to line up, because that old adage of, hey, I'm going to go down to 32 or go down to 45 or whatever, it's harder to do because of that situation. So you mentioned Carr and Brigette. They very well may have to go head-to-head.
Yeah, might end up at the same weight. Now, a nice tilt there from Brigette to give himself 3 more to go up 12-0. That's one of the things too, is that these guys, one of the funny parts now is that all these guys are friends. They're on the whatever Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever they do. They all know each other. They all talk. And they all kind of try to figure out what weight they're going. Not only guys that are in, their neighborhood or in their district, but guys in other districts and guys in District 11 and guys in District 4 and 12. And he's going to pull them over in splits here again. And he's going to try to split on this time, which means you put your head right on the stomach. But instead, he's just going to kind of get a tilt out of it. And this is going to be the end of this match because he's going to get 3 points. And that's going to, now that we get back and the referee gives the points, that'll make it 15-0 and a second period tech fall for Andrew Burgett.
Nice work from Andrew Burgett.
So our 2 feature wrestlers put on very impressive shows. That was very impressive by Burgett there, putting in the tech fall in the second period.
Ouch.
Yeah.
It just looked like it hurt the whole way through.
He likes to inflict pain, and he seems to be happy about it the whole way.
Oh, move on to our final weight class?
Yeah, so
this thing has flown by.
It has really flown by, and as you said, this thing went sideways for Delaware Valley very early. Scranton really with an impressive meet tonight.
For Delaware Valley, Peter Rock. For Scranton, Brian.
This is actually Peter Rock for Delaware Valley.
And Brian McGigan
from Scranton.
1:47 here in the first period, just getting underway in our final match. 54-9, Scranton. Team points over Delaware Valley.
Nice single there by Rock, gets him up, gets him down. It's nothing yet though, as he's still got that far leg. Does McGuinn, and now look, it locks up a cradle here. Now this should be, this is the, see if he can get him across. See, he wants to come across to the other side. This is what we saw earlier. You try to pull that cross-face cradle across your body, you have to roll across your back. If you come to the other side, you just have to slide him back easy. So he locks it in again here. And he's gonna try to drive him around to his head. Which means he's gonna have to go over his own body if he wants to put him on his back. Now this time you see, now he's gonna slide to the side, get that leg behind. Now you want to just take him straight back and over, and there you go. There he is. Much easier to do it that way than the other way.
See the pain right there?
Trying to get all he can to get himself out there from bottom, struggling hard. Locked up tight in that cradle, and he's trying to get he's got that shoulder up, shoulder underneath. And Rock is trying to slide his hips out, push his knee right into his ribs, and push him out to the outside there and try to get that near shoulder down onto the ground.
Peter Rock not able to get that pin, but
locked up his hands a little early. So they're going to be locking hands on him as well, though. And they're going to be out of bounds, but it's still going to be a point for McGuinn. So he'll be down still, but it's 5-1 now. Rock leads. 9 seconds to go in this period. Rock trying to hold him down. Every time he gets into that little tripod stand-up, he seems to go right for the cradle. And fight his way to the outside. So they'll take neutral here. Try to work on his feet. I don't think McGuinn wants to go underneath anymore after getting turned over in those cradles a couple of times. Nice job here by Rock. Once again, keeps his hips low. The lower man wins there as he gets in on the shot. Picks him up. Can't finish, though. Nice job there by McGuinn, getting his hips square, getting out and fighting off the takedown.
So Peter Rock got a great name. And right now, an advantage here for Delaware Valley, although the team is down big time against a deep, deep Scranton Knight squad.
Rock trying to go for a little. He's got to get to that back. Well, now they're now a little too close. They've squared up a bit too much, and he's still trying to get around him to the back side. Nice reshot there by Rock, and now it's McGuinn that's got the position, and they're still going to be neutral, though, by the time they're done.
right on the edge of the mat, Mike.
Right, yeah, and that's one of the problems when you're on the edge of the mat is that you can use it to your advantage to try to get the takedown if you can keep your feet in, and then you get in trouble and you can work your way right out of bounds.
56 seconds now in the second period of our final match of the night tonight with live high school wrestling here at Scranton High School between Delaware Valley and the Knights.
Two guys putting all that weight on their necks like that when you've just got the two of them wrenching away at it the whole time. It's a good recipe to be really tired by the end of the third period. Rock really looking good in this match. Came in the 3-9 record. Not having the season I'm sure he envisioned when he went through all that work in the offseason, but has really looked good in this match. And that's one thing when you wrestle all those tough matches, as we talked about with Delaware Valley, is they just keep challenging themselves. Tough match after tough match after tough match. Sometimes you get beat up on a little bit, but you're better for it.
Not a whole lot of rest time in wrestling, huh?
No. That's what when we were talking about that earlier. You know, we started this telecast talking about Reggie Dickey coming from football, and you know, you think you're in great shape when you know you're out there in football and you're practicing every day and you're going through all that, and then you show up in the wrestling room and all of a sudden you realize that no, there's a different shape that you're in when you're wrestling.
And in the old stereotype of, hey, football players and wrestlers, it's changed. The game has changed over the years. Soccer players are wrestlers, and cross-country guys are wrestlers, and baseball players are wrestlers. I mean, there's a wide variety of different sports.
And there's a lot of specialization, too, which is you get a lot more of now, where you have guys that only play football or I only wrestle. I mean, there's guys that will go the entire season. You know, they'll wrestle literally from January to December every single year. They'll wrestle in the off season all the way through. They'll wrestle through there, and you know that's what they commit to, and it's what they do. And you know, you don't get as many of the three-sport athletes you got and that you used to have in every time.
One other thing in talking to the District 2 wrestlers here, coaches, as you see this thing.
Oh, looks like
trying to get a move here from Brian McGuigan.
McGuigan trying to get to the outside here. He's still trying to spin. But a nice job by Rock holding on to that leg. Let's see if he can lift it back up again. He's in the tough position there. He's got to get his hips underneath and kind of squat it up. There he goes. Nice job. Gets himself low and drives across to get the takedown.
So my point to you, Mike, is keeping young wrestlers interested. Like you hear about in District 4 and District 11, these kids start young. And some of these youth programs, some of these high schools don't have young programs.
No, and that's one thing Delaware Valley has done a terrific job of. The Warrior Wrestling Club, you know, it has been around now. You know, it's something that Coach Lou came up with in the very beginning when he showed up. He said, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to build a program. We're not just going to have a team. We're going to have a program. We're going to run the elementary guys. We're going to run, you know, a club that we're going to always have wrestlers in. And it's really shown in how dominant they've been over the last couple of years.
Peter Rock trying to see if he could go lights out here.
Got him down. Now he needs to shift his weight back. He needs to get chest on chest with him here. He's got a little bit too far across. And he gets the pin anyway, though. Gets his hips down on him and finishes off with the pin for Delaware Valley. And just a little couple extra bonus points on the board.
So Delaware Valley finishes the meet with 2 pins and 1 decisions, but it is a romper room tonight for the Scranton Knights with a 54-15 victory, and Peter Rock with the victory. Well, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back, and we'll wrap things up here from Scranton High School, live high school wrestling on MyTV. We are back at Scranton High School. This thing in the books. The Knights victorious 54-15. Let's head over to Bob Ide.
Thank you, John. We're with our Northwoods Nissan players of the game, and joining me right now, the winner at 220 pounds, Jack Maley. And Jack, boy, what a match. You were down right to the bitter end. Talk to me. Take me through that last couple of seconds.
Well, yeah, I've wrestled him a couple times before, and I knew how tough he was. And I looked up, I saw how close the time was, and I just had to give it my all and see if I could get it. And I got it with like around 2 seconds left, and I was so happy. About as happy as I could be.
Cutting it real close, weren't you?
Yeah, just a couple seconds left.
How much did that win, you think, ignited the rest of the night for you guys?
I think it really sparked a run for us because we won the next 5 or 6 matches after that. and it was really big for the team. It got us really pumped up.
I know you guys were excited to face Delaware Valley. It's the first win over Delaware Valley for Scranton since 2008. You guys were maybe in diapers at that time, but what's it mean to the program to beat a program like Delaware Valley?
It's really important for us because we've been working for like a long time since middle school with Brigette and Coach Jim, and we've been building for this moment for a long time with the same core kids for about 7 or 8 years. So.
Good, congratulations. Let's bring in 170-pound winner Andrew Brigette right there at the end. And you've been around the program a long time now. You're a senior. How have you seen it develop?
Well, we started off my freshman year, like, we were working hard. Like, a lot of hard-working kids from above us and everything kept us pushing. And then we kept getting better and better. Then last year when we won district duels, that was a big time for us. So.
And now you beat Delaware Valley for the Lackawanna League. How's that ignite you now for the rest of the season and get you some motivation?
It gives us a lot of motivation, especially from last year when we won by 1 point and we just like blew them out. It was important for me.
Now individually for yourself, this is gonna you have a rest of the season. You finished second, I think, last year in the districts at 160. What are your goals now for the rest of the season?
Well, I'm really hoping forward to get a district title for first year, so that's one of my big goals.
And that'd be a good way to go out here, right?
Yeah, and then place at regionals and go to states, hopefully.
Okay, Andrew, good seeing you. Let's bring in Coach now, Jimmy Morgan. And Coach, I've never seen you more relaxed on the sidelines, but talk to me about those first 3 matches, how they just ignited you guys.
Yeah, they did ignite us, especially with 220 and heavyweight. They've been wrestling those guys for a couple years now, especially 220. Jack usually loses. They go back and forth, but usually McCarthy gets the better of them. But it was big for Jack to get that win. And then Simon goes back and forth with their heavyweight Lamb. So those 2 matches that we knew were toss-ups were big for us because we knew if we could take any of those matches with the lightweights where we had the advantage, then we'd be all right. But once we won all 3, then we knew we were in good shape. So that kind of relaxed me.
What kind of confidence can this give your team now the rest of the year?
It gives us a lot of confidence because in the beginning of the year, we kind of put the team through a meat grinder. We wrestled Wyoming Sem a couple times. We were just down at Bethlehem Catholic. So our guys are pretty battle tested, and they know if they could battle with those guys, then when we come back home that we should be in good shape. And I think it shows tonight, the hard work and the competition that we put in, that when we come back here that we should be competing and doing well.
What's to say for the Scranton program now? First win over Delaware Valley since 2008.
What it says. Well, last year, I think we got the ghost off our back a little bit last year when we beat them at duels. So that gave us some confidence. And now the fact that we can go out there and wrestle as well as we did tonight, it should give them confidence going forward, even though we do have a good number of seniors, but we do have underclassmen that are part of this. So it should boost their confidence going forward as well.
Thanks for your help, Jimmy. Congratulations the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And, John, this can only ignite now the Scranton Knights program, not only for the Lackawanna League, because right now they're the favorite, but also for districts to defend that AAA title. Let's go back to you.
Thanks, Bob. Well, Mike Slusser, for you, wrap up our final thoughts tonight going forward here with the wrestling season. We're already into January. It's going to go quick from this point forward.
Yeah, it goes really quick from here. But for Scranton, I mean, this is a huge springboard for them, as Bob just talked about. I mean, for AAA duels, for AAA districts, I mean, as you know, last year they came just short on that. You know, they have to be the favorite going into there. As we said, Hazelton's very good, a couple of teams in the Wyoming Valley Conference. But for this Scranton team, it's really, really been unbelievable with how good they've been in this meet especially, and how good they've been coming into this season.
Well, that's going to wrap things up here from Scranton High School. Mike, want to thank you for joining us tonight, and look forward to catching you again on our next wrestling broadcast.
Hey, we love getting wrestling on TV, and everyone really appreciates it in the wrestling community.
All right, we'll have basketball live for you next week, Mid-Valley and Old Forge next Tuesday night on my TV. For Bob Ide, Mike Slusser, and our entire production team, I'm John Mendola. Have a great night.
This is a Fox 56 sports presentation on MyTV WQMY.